Thank you all for coming to the Chi Gong table this morning. And I know this holiday is going to be different than maybe most, but possibly it could be an invitation to slow down and reflect. And Qi Gong is all about energy cultivation, and everything is energy, and emotion is energy. And we can also transfer energy to other people. So, in that respect, we're not alone. And the one word that comes up often for this particular holiday is gratitude. And in that emotionality of gratitude, there's this energy that usually brings a softening to us, a feeling, a sense of warmth, maybe eases our body. So every emotion we can feel physically. So for this meditation, it'll be about tapping into that feeling of gratitude and how that feels for us, and how we can also send that feeling out to others. So take a little time to settle into your practice. First noticing your breath is always a good place to start. Just noticing the natural inhalation and exhalation without judgment. Just pay attention to how you're breathing, because the breath usually is a big indication of how we're really feeling. If the breath's really tight, if we're gripping in the mouth, we're maybe feeling some tension. But if we can get the breath to soften and deepen, it'll start to create more of a relaxation feeling to our body. And we can do that by manipulating the breath. You could inhale through both nostrils and exhale out through the mouth with a soft exhalation that usually will calm us right down, and also usually will deepen our breath. So use that or whatever else for just a second or so as we come into this awareness of our breathing. And then check in with your physical body. How does your body feel today? Did you have a good rest? Do you feel rested? Are there any areas of your body that are going to need some special attention? Just check in. And then ask yourself, what does your body need today? And maybe it is a slowing down. And as we take this pause to pay attention to this moment, be here now, being mindful of this very moment. Place both of your hands over your heart and begin to soften or close the eyes. And this time, on your inhale, feel your belly rise and your heart swell. And when you exhale, soften the belly and soften your heart space. Feeling this connection of where your heart center is. And in this space, begin to bring to mind someone or something you are grateful for. It could be someone in the past, the present, or in the future, a loved one, a pet, a dear friend, a parent, or even a picture in your mind's eye of your favorite place in nature. So I'm going to give you a few moments to do that, bringing to your mind someone or something you're grateful for. And then notice how your body feels, your mind feels when you go into that great gratitude space. And gratitude is the soil for manifestation, which allows big magic in our lives. And the magic could just simply be the feeling it brings to us. Maybe it's a softening. Maybe it's a feeling of being grounded, wrapped in gratefulness, in gratitude. And in Qigong, the practice is understanding this connection to each other and to every living thing on the planet through this unified field of energy. We are not alone. And in that respect, we could be extremely thankful. And we can send out this gratitude just through our energy, through our thoughts, to a deep sense of gratitude. And maybe throughout the day, maybe come back to that feeling of gratitude. You know, what did it bring for you when you go to that space of your heart? And let that feeling radiate out through your entire being. Feel it. Notice it in your breath. And the affirmation for today could be every day in every way, I invite into my life gratitude. And then you can begin to rub your hands together, creating that warmth in your hands. Bring them onto your eyes, your closed eyes. When you're ready, open your eyes into the palms as you let a little bit of light in, and then slowly transition by moving the hands away from your face as we return together. So I wanted to show you this uh, picture of Waioki. And it reminded me of, well, someone reminded me, I was at the fish store yesterday, and it's just going to be the three, myself and my husband and daughter today. And, usually I come from a big Italian family and I'm used to lots of people around for this holiday. It's like the kickoff for everything. And as far as following the seasons, we're coming to the end of fall, and the end of fall starts to, it's about the harvest and the bounty of all the fruits and vegetables that were planted and grown, and they've fallen off the trees or they're falling off their plants, and we're taking all that food and prepare, years ago preparing it and canning it for the winter months to come. And there's this usually slowing down, and it's funny because in our country we ramp everything up this time of year. So, maybe this year can be a little different for you as far as that goes, kind of going with the flow of the seasons a little bit more intimately by taking this opportunity, like I said before, to slow down and reflect. That's what the winter season is about, which we will be in a few weeks. But I had couple of years ago, it was just my husband and I for Thanksgiving. My daughter was living in California, and we decided to do something different. And it brought back that memory when I was in the fish store, because I was getting fish. We're not having turkey. We're doing something else today, fish and stuff. And this guy in the store who was buying fish said, "Oh, are you doing fish for Thanksgiving this year?" And I said, "Yeah, we are. We're not doing the turkey." And he goes, "Yeah, we've always wanted to do that. We're going to do what we want to do this year," because it was just three of them also, I guess. And I thought, yeah, it feels good to just kind of stay above the fray a little bit this year, having that opportunity to maybe do something we've always really wanted to do for this holiday. And maybe it's something different than what we're used to. So my husband and I, a couple of years ago, decided, since we were by ourselves, it started because I started looking for the history of Thanksgiving. And I think we've all been exposed to the history of Thanksgiving as a wonderful time of moment in history where the Pilgrims and the Native Americans came together. But actually, Thanksgiving is a rife with contradictions. If you look deep at the history, it's that beautiful imagery of Thanksgiving centered around a rosy narrative of Pilgrims and Native Americans coming together to feast and give thanks. It's really not the true picture of what happened, but for us, it stimulates the pleasure centers of our brains, which I think is not bad. But I think that's what we are all attracted to, is that idea of maybe what it was like. And of course, in modern times, we've created our own Thanksgiving. And I think for modern times, it's about coming together and being a family and giving thanks for what we have. But again, after I had investigated a little bit deeper, Thanksgiving really changed my whole outlook of how I wanted to spend it. And there's this beautiful Native American sculpture in my town in Narragansett, similar to this one. It's on a smaller scale. And it was developed, a person from, not Germany, he was from one of the, and it wasn't Ukrainian, I think. It was Ukrainian that came over here a long time ago and just fell in love with the Native American history. And he was a sculptor, and he went to every state and asked every state if they would allow him for free to sculpture a particular Native American that was part of that land. And here it's the Narragansett tribe, and so he built he beautiful sculpture um, of that tribe, and they're called whispering giants, and he has them in every state. So what we did is, after looking at the history of Thanksgiving, we have been going to this totem every year since, just giving thanks to the Native Americans. So it became a new kind of a new ritual or ceremony for us to do on Thanksgiving. And now every time we travel, we look up where the that sculpture is. And this particular one is in Desert Hot Springs, California, which we absolutely love. So it was really interesting how we felt this connection to the land even there in Desert Hot Springs. And there's this beautiful Waioki standing here, so proud and beautiful. There was this connection of Narragansett and this particular sculpture. So it gives us pause every time I pass the one by my house, pausing to remember the history of the Native Americans. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, maybe this year we can take a step to exercise a more enlightened consciousness, along with, of course, our family connection and our shared appreciation and gratitude. Maybe understanding a little bit more of why we celebrate this holiday on a deeper level, more of maybe an historical level, will also help, again, to create an energy, to cultivate a different type of energy. Maybe this year, this is giving us that pause that maybe we need. So give a little thought to how different this could be for you. And we'll come back and maybe share some thoughts on this as I